I created this Trinity Bible study for one of my closest Jehovah Witness friends. As a fundamental Baptist myself, my Jehovah Witness friends kept telling me that we as Baptists got most of our Trinity verses out of the New Testament, and that the Old Testament doesn't teach Trinity at all. So with that in mind, let's find out if the Bible teaches Trinity by comparing both the Old and the New Testament Bible scriptures.
Okay, the Father is who we're sinning against when we sin. Now, this is one of the stronger points and verses that I found that really points to Trinity. Psalms 119:11. Thy word have I hid in mine heart, that I might not sin against thee. Sin against who? Sin against the Father, obviously. Okay, the Father is who, when we sin, unfortunately we do that, we are sinning directly against the Father. However, when in 1 Corinthians 8:12, it says, But when ye sin, so against the brethren, and would their weak conscience, ye sin against Christ. Now, I have a problem with that. If Christ is not God, I have a serious problem with that, because now it's basically saying that we are sinning against two individuals and not against one. And yet Psalm clearly says that we're only sinning against one individual, okay, which is the Father, that I might not sin against thee. Nowhere does it say that there is a God next to him, little g or big G, that we are sinning against, or that there are two individuals in heaven that they're sinning against. It just flat out says that we are sinning against the Father. Then Jesus comes along and they write that we're sinning against Christ. You don't think that the disciples, okay, or Paul, who was writing this, wouldn't have a problem with this when they knew the Old Testament scriptures say that we're sinning against the Father? No, they knew the concept of Trinity. They had to, because they're flat out going right against the Old Testament scriptures if they didn't, by saying that we sin against Christ. Okay, there would have been no problem for Paul or the writer of the scripture to say we sin against the Father. No problem with that at all. But no, he says we're sinning against Christ. So it's a very powerful scripture in explaining.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to watch the next video explaining the examples of the Old and New Testament Trinity verses.